Through the demo here for recruitment and admissions. So we're going to start off with Lance Gonzalez. Lance is a student that is interested in one of the programs at Connected University. He starts his journey by clicking around on the Connected University website. This person, then, Lance, can click around, find the right program, and when he finds the right program, or if he's just interested in learning more, he's going to end up on a lead gen or an RFI, request for information form. This is an example of what that could look like. When Lance completes this information, his data will log against the internal Salesforce system and Salesforce Education Cloud. It will make sure that the information that he's entering is unique. If he's applied before, then it will simply take that in consideration and not create a duplicate. In any case, this becomes quite a smart form, and in addition, it would it will keep track of where we found Lance. Is this just a web to lead situation, or is this a scenario where our recruiters are at a high school visit, and that high school visit we can either give the students iPads that they can complete that exact form on their own, or we can do a QR code like you're seeing on the screen, kind of print it out, put it up for students to scan. So if anybody has their own phone, they can just complete the RFI form themselves. All of that data then is logged in the system against the high school event. So if anyone were to complete that form, we would then know exactly where we found them. So from a ROI perspective, we know exactly how these students are coming through, what sources, what channels are working, and what is not working. Okay, so in this case though, Lance is poking around the website. He completes the form here. In the event that he completes this form, he is now going to be put through a depending on the cloud, marketing cloud or marketing cloud account engagement, he would go through either a journey or a engagement studio campaign. In either case, we're going to put him into essentially a drip campaign where we're going to send him reminders and emails or SMS or WhatsApp messages, and we're going to nurture Lance. We're going to nurture Lance for the purpose of trying to get him to apply, to start his journey with Connected University. So at some point, Lance clicks on one of the links from his email or from an SMS message. And when he does so, he's going to show up on the community or the Experience Cloud page for Connected University. Now, Lance is not already a member in this case, so we actually need to he needs to create himself as a member. So he is going to go in, he's going to give his first, last, and email, because right now he is not yet a member of this community. He has not yet applied. Once he completes all this information, he is then redirected into the Connected University Experience Cloud site for Connected University. And the thing that we want him to do is to do a call to action, and he's going to apply for one of the programs. Now you can see in this case that Lance has actually applied because I've been testing quite a few times, but if he were to start a new application, it would be the equivalent of doing this manage application. So if we were to start from scratch, my applications, new application, we need to choose which type of application we're going for, and then which term we're going for. Now, depending on the term that we choose, we may or may not have the right learning programs that we care about and that we want. So let's say that I'm actually interested in a Bachelor of Arts in Psychology. So I'm gonna move that on over, at which point there's my Bachelor of Arts in Psychology. So now I need to go through the process of creating details in my application. Now, these applications are customizable based on the school's needs, but we do have something to start with here. And keep in mind, because I've filled out this application as Lance quite a few times, essentially all of the information is pre-filling, so I don't actually need to fill out again unless I need to make a change to it or I want to make a change to it. It is going to give me all of my kind of old details, and I'm just going to say, yep, that is all correct. Oh, nope, I do not have a formal name. And if there are any required fields, we would make them required. If there are any conditional fields, we would make them conditional. And we're kind of just moving through the motions of this application. So Lance is giving us details. No. Okay, so we have completed 2 sections so far. And I actually have, in this case, I have 2 requirements that I must do. I must give a resume and I must give an unofficial transcript. We have saved that in the background. We, as the administrators or the kind of admission staff, have decided that our application needs these. Not everybody needs these. Not every school needs this. Or you know, of course, we can make changes to the documents that we're requiring. But for now, we have chosen. Now, let's say that I'm not actually ready. I don't have my resume. I'm not ready for this. I don't have my unofficial transcript. I'm not ready for this. So I'm going to save for later. And I can email myself the link, or frankly, I can just go back to the home page and I can just start again at any time. So I'm going to come back to my Bachelor in Arts Psychology. I'm partway through with files. Let's go do the other ones now. I already have parents or guardians, so there's my parent or guardian. Do you have any siblings? I think yes, I do. I've already added. So that one is also complete. Test results. Now, I've also added test results in the past, so they are going to show up at a later time, but if I needed to add any more, I could do so. For now, let's say no, no, no. Okay, so now let's say I come back. I'm Lance, I go off for a couple of days, and I kind of forget that I've actually started this application. Well, that's what, again, an Engagement Studio drip campaign can help us with. So we now know internally that Lance has started an application, but has not actually completed an application. So let's go look at him from the internal perspective. Okay, so here's Lance. We have a bunch of information about him. There's kind of a timeline of what he's been up to, and we see a number of applications that he has going on. The one that we care about is going to be the 8.7. That's the newest one. And this is what my internal view looks like for Lance. We know that Lance is not yet done with these files that we've requested. So we're just kind of waiting. We're just waiting for Lance. Okay. We know that it's incomplete, but that part, we're just waiting for Lance to kind of figure that part out and complete the application. The drip campaign is going. Emails are being sent. Please complete your application. A couple days later, Lance comes back. He's going to complete his application. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and upload files. And I'm just going to do random files. I didn't quite let it load last time. Let's make sure that we got them both. Yeah, okay. So now that we've uploaded our files, that is now complete. So this part of the application is done. Internally now, we know the difference. So there's those two document checklist items. They are not yet verified, right? Neither one of those have been verified by the internal user. So we're just going to go take a peek and make sure that this application is now ready for the internal user. Okay. All right, now we can do what I just did manually, automatically based on logic in the application. But for now, what I did is I just made this individual application ready for review. Now, I'm going to switch gears at this point, and I'm going to take a look from the perspective of Regina Williams, who is an admissions reviewer. So I'm going to pop over to Regina. I'm going to go to the internal application. Regina then is going to go to her homepage. Her homepage then has a queue, undergraduate queue. Maybe she's a part of a different queue. Maybe she's a part of the graduate queue. She could be a part of different queues. But for now, she's only a part of the undergraduate queue. In this case, this is Lance's new application that we've just submitted. And that application is right here. Here's the one that we've just been working on. And I'm going to go through as Regina. Actually, that didn't quite work. There's one step that we have to remember. Okay, so Lance, individual application 87. All right, this related records, application review. This owner has to be a queue called, don't send email, undergraduate review committee, change owner. All right, that we can automatically do. Regina then, internal. Okay, now we're on the home page. There we go, not started. Okay, there's my application review. Now I am Regina. I'm going to go to this new application that has come in. Again, in this case, it's actually the exact same person as the other, but I am now going through this application as Regina. I am now reviewing the information about this student that the student has told us. They have told us that they're fluent in Spanish, speaking proficiency, but writing at a novice level. I'm going to go through again and again, just kind of making sure that I'm understanding who this student is. I have already in previous reviews approved these secondary schools. We can change the status for these secondary schools in the event that we want to, But in this case, I've already reviewed them. And since I've already reviewed them and Lance, this is now the third time that Lance is applying, I don't need to re-review those universities unless I decide I need to. Same is true for test results. In this case, I've already approved test results from previous applications. However, I have not approved these two files. So the document checklist items that were required as a part of this application, I'm going to now go review those document checklist items, and I'm going to determine whether or not this, let's call it a PDF, is good enough. So let's say that this one is indeed good enough. We're going to approve it. We're also going to approve this one, which means now that we are through this this application. We have reviewed everything, and so I, as Regina, am now going to make a decision. Am I admitting this student? Am I admitting with conditions, or am I denying? Let's say that this is an admit. I can give comments if I want to give comments. I don't need to. Status changes automatically for up to ready for decision. Note that Lance is going to be able to see this change in the event that he is actually paying attention. Ready for decision. Now that can be emailed if you would like to and communicate kind of constantly with the student. Certainly doesn't need to be. Okay, now let's go ahead and make our decision. Final decision. Application decision is now made. Again, this status in Lance's community is now transparently available. Okay, now once this is done, the reviewer now can kind of finalize things. We've already gone through and accepted everything here. Yep. All right. So the reviewer has done their part. The student is now going to do their part. So I'm going to kind of move back over to the student. We are going to go to the students getting an email. Okay, so the student gets an email that says, all right, you've been accepted, and the student now needs to make their choice. So the student says, all right, are we ready? Let's confirm. Let's go ahead and proceed with Connect University. In the event that there is a deposit, at this point we now need to pay our deposit. So there are some options for paying. Credit card, send a check, bank transfer, wire transfer, or request deposit waiver. We're going to go ahead and request a deposit waiver. At this point, you could actually generate and download an image for your acceptance letter if you would like, or we can email that as well. And the student is now essentially finished with their part. Now, let's say that Lance actually wants to meet with an advisor. So if Lance wants to meet with an advisor, Lance can do schedule a visit, schedule appointment. Let's say that Lance wants to speak to admissions. Also, this can be a part of the application process. This could be a required step as an interview. I'm going to choose virtual. I'm going to choose that I want to speak to Rachel, somebody, tomorrow. And Rachel is there. I'm going to say 9 to 9:30 works for me. I can give any special notes. I can confirm. Now I'm set up. I'm going to get an email from the system that gives me my virtual link. I can now, as Lance, take a look at my appointments by going to this particular screen. Now you can see I've tested a couple of times, but the student can keep track of their appointments and via the community. And that is essentially that.